Tenille Towns.
What's up? How are you?
Like a week ago. You were at the Chevy Riverfront stage with like 5,000 people screaming your words to Masquerade. You were like, oh! And like now you're here at Bonnaroo. Like, what a whirlwind, Tenille.
What a whirlwind. I'm so glad summer is here and coming together for music is here. It feels so good. Last weekend was really fun. We've missed CMA Fest the last few years, so that was super awesome. And this is my first time at Bonnaroo, and I am pumped to be here. It's so cool.
But you know what's amazing about you, Tenille? You, every time I see you, you're like always energetic, in a great state. Like, how do you do it? Like, do you meditate? Do you like prioritize your 7 hours of sleep? Do you do push-ups? Like, what do you do?
Rest, water, and just being inspired by music, you know? It's like, there's always such an energy and like a calming presence to that for me, which I guess is a form of meditation if I think about it. We always have a pre-show ritual that kind of gets us in the zone, dance around to some 80s rock songs, and say a little prayer and away we go. So, but yeah, man, I just love music so much. Anytime I get to be around something that you just feel it in the atmosphere around you, you can't help but, I don't know, feel like your spirit's lifted by it.
Absolutely. And Tenille, you know, one of the things I love about you, and we've been like rocking out to Masquerade since it came out, it's goddamn, it's so damn, like it gives my chills. It's like crazy.
Thank you.
It's like, it's universal, and like you're playing Bonnaroo, huge stage on Saturday, it's like a big audience, and that is because I think Bonnaroo and the festival recognizes that your sound is kind of universal, it's multi-genre, multi-age group. Like, that's gotta feel pretty badass, that you're creating something that is like, it just resonates with like the human soul.
Thank you for saying that. It really does feel badass. I can't believe that I get to be here, and it really is an honor to be a part of a festival that really does just have like arms wide open to embracing music for music, you know? And I think what I love about that is it's just about like a person-to-person connection, and I'm really excited to get to be a part of a culture of music that embraces so many different kinds of music and different kinds of people, and it's an honor to be a part of that.
Absolutely, absolutely. I know you got a busy day, so thank you so much. Let me ask you about your tour. You have a big tour coming up in August, right?
Yes,
starts in August?
September.
Oh my God, it's gonna be great.
It's gonna be, I'm pumped.
Have you started practicing? Like, what nuggets can you give us without giving away too much, you know?
Yeah, definitely. The band and I have been kind of rehearsing, and I love those kind of headline club shows where it feels like we're meeting friends that we've maybe met at a festival or opening up for one of our heroes, and like to have the opportunity to come together as our own community and our own family around these songs is just, it's so cool. I love those shows. So we're looking forward to a run of some dates here in the US and a few in Canada, and tour in the UK with some of those too. Amazing. So I can't wait for the fall.
Tenille, I can't tell you how gratifying it is to be here talking to you. We, thank you for your time. We feel like this is like when Destiny Child had like 4 members, and you see like those old interviews.
Yeah.
I feel like this is.
I feel honored.
Like I feel like, in my career we've talked to some big names, but like we're so glad that we got you at this stage because we know where you're going, and we're so glad.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
It's an honor
Thank
to
you
chat
so
with
much.
you today. You too.
Thank
Enjoy
you,
Bonnaroo. Good.
Bre Kennedy.
Give a hug because this is such a special moment for you, Bre. Such as like we're at Bonnaroo 2022, and I want to talk about what that meant and the journey in just a second. But first of all, I want to ask you about Costa Rica because I love the way that you disconnect and that you take these journeys to recharge yourself and your own soul. And you were just in Costa Rica.
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about that. Give us some nuggets.
Yeah, it's hard to totally put into words. I felt like I went into a portal. I was in the jungle. I was near Puerto Jimenez. And I stayed at a place called Luna Lodge and basically turned my phone off for 9 days and was barefoot in the jungle. And yeah, I tend to give all of myself to everything until that last minute moment that I realize, oh, I've gone a little too far and I haven't checked in on myself.
Right.
Sometimes it's a little bit too late and I'm like, why am I so tired and why aren't I feeling creative? Or so I just said, you know what, I've never really done something like that for myself. I've never taken myself on just a self trip.
Yeah. You didn't even go with your boyfriend, right?
No.
Like you went like by yourself.
Yeah, I went by myself, but I met a new friend there, and it was a very new friendship, and obviously very close now that we got to experience that. But yeah, it was a much needed gift to myself.
Totally.
Yeah.
So let's talk about Bonnaroo. Obviously, third time is the charm, or fourth, or is it fourth?
Third.
Third time's the charm. Okay, so there's been a couple disappointments, and it's all worked out great because the weather is fantastic today. There's an anticipation about you. It's almost like, you know, we talk about this all the time. Life doesn't happen to you; it happens for you. And I think that you're gonna step, just from when we first met, Bre, you're gonna step into that stage like such an incredible, like you're better than ever that you've ever been artistically. I'm just getting like emotional just thinking about it.
You're making me so
because
happy.
it's like it was meant to be this way. There's a buzz in the air. Everyone is really excited about this. But talk to me about the dark days or the dark moments, and we can talk about them in the past now. We can talk about them like in the past.
Absolutely.
Like as something you overcame.
Yeah.
But like, was there a moment where you were like, this shit is just not gonna happen?
Oh, I mean, yeah.
Like, you know?
I think. I mean, you saw me over the past,
Yeah.
The last call was last year. It was when the rain was so incredibly heavy that it just flooded Bonnaroo, and
like 2 days before.
2 days before, so everyone's flying in.
Right.
And I was so, you know, it's like when you get so excited for something, it doesn't happen. And then now it's happening again. The world is kind of opening. I just got myself so excited again, and the little girl in me was just like burying my heart, just so excited again and dreaming. And when I got the call, it was like a disappointed version of little me. I just was like, okay, yeah, I guess I expected bad news because we were just in that time. And so gearing up for this year, I had to like break down like walls that I built up that kept me from totally jumping into being excited.
Sure.
Now I'm over the moon, and I
a little PTSD, a little bit.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, it's natural. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we all have a little PTSD.
Right.
And it comes in waves, and it's like weird. Like my body was just like triggered by like walking into Bonnaroo because I was like, oh no, what if it doesn't happen?
Right.
But it's in a few hours.
It's in a few hours. When we tape this, it's gonna be historic, and we'll talk about it in the review. But Bre, you know, just want to thank you for everything. Thank you for being an inspiration, because you know this gets people charged up, like because people are going through their own disappointments in their own lives, in their careers, and the sun always comes up. Midnight comes before the fall. You know,
Amen.
Where did summer go? Summer always shows up again.
Summer's here.
It's here, and it's brighter than ever.
Yeah.
And it's Bre Kennedy, open arms. Bre, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Jonathan Terrell.
Good to see you, man. How are you?
Bonnaroo 2022. One
Indeed.
of the breakout stars. How you doing, man?
You know, I'm just exhausted from being a breakout star. You know, it's hard work. It's hard work out there.
You just rocked the Galactic stage.
Yeah, it was great.
Which has been a stage where a lot of the shining talent has been. Lenny Wilson, you know, Cole Park, all the up and comers.
Yeah.
You know,
glad to be a part,
Maggie
man.
Rose, man, you as well.
Yeah,
so.
yeah, it's pretty cool. Pretty cool. It's my first time to play Bonnaroo, so I'm pretty excited to be here. You
Absolutely, absolutely. So let me ask you a few questions before we get to the new single, which is great.
Thank you.
So you're from Austin.
Indeed.
Let me ask you about the gentrification and like the music in Austin, because I feel like Nashville, where I live, is kind of like following that pattern a little bit. You've been in Austin for a while.
Yeah.
You've seen it transform. You've seen it evolve. Do you feel that is like good for the music, or like is the music still gonna like power through, you know, even though it's growing the city?
I think the music is in a dangerous spot right now, because right now the music is it's a sideshow and it's not a feature. It's you go to a bar and every bar has live music, but it's in the corner. Nobody pays attention. You're there to drink, have a good time, but you're not there to hear any music. You're there to like party, and the attention that the artists deserve and the songs deserve can get washed out pretty quick, which I'm sure you see in Nashville sometimes. You know,
I mean, it's kind of creeping in, and that's why I feel like I get asked, you know, because
it is, but it's like I think that. You know, thank you for asking this question, because I think the more we talk about it, the more aware people are about it, and like going, okay, if there's a show happening in this bar, we should pay attention, because you might love it.
Right.
You know, you might find your new favorite artist.
Absolutely.
You know.
And let me ask you something. I mean, you were born in East Texas.
Yeah, Longview.
Always a musician from the inside, but you didn't pursue it until later in your life.
Right.
Let me ask you about this iconic like Arizona trip. Like you were driving to the Pacific Coast. What was this? In Sedona? Where did this happen?
Well, it was actually coming back from San Diego. I went out there and was busking in San Diego, and I ran out of money. And a friend of mine's parents wired me some money to get me home. And that was like, it was just like a really emotional drive, and I just had that kind of epiphany I think it's on the Highway 10 coming back.
Sure.
You know, and it was just like, it was just louder than any song I had ever heard. It was just like, I knew then that I was supposed to play music for my whole life.
That's amazing. You just had like a breakthrough.
Yeah, and I pulled over on the side of the road and just, you know, cried about it and called my dad and was like, dude, this is happening.
I saw the light.
And he was like, my parents are musicians, and he was just like, man, had to be somebody in the family, you know, so he's like, I'm glad you found that. And,
I love it, John.
You know,
that's such a great story,
I feel really lucky.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then you're playing solo now, but you've had great bands in the past. Like
sure.
You have a great, curriculum to your name. How does it feel like to come like as a solo artist versus like as a band? Like any differences there?
Yeah, I mean, for sure. I mean, because I love playing with my band. It's a totally different show. It's like, you know, it's like a rock and roll honky tonk show that we have a rule in the band. It's like if you're not sweating by song 2, you're doing something wrong. You know, so it's like we like to get out there and get to work, get the crowd moving. And you know, with the solo set, with the acoustic set, some of the lyrics are more of the forefront. But, you know, I try to make it as entertaining as I can, you know, shake a little hip every now and again, you know.
I get that, man.
Give them the eye candy, you know.
I love it, too. I love it, man. And I mean, you just rock the stage, and NPR has given you accolades. Like you're, like, critically acclaimed. Like, your name is very renowned.
I am? All right.
Yeah, man.
All right.
Dude, absolutely. NPR, you're becoming a household name. You're playing Bonnaroo. Like, you know, maybe you're working so hard, you don't see it. You're too close to the trees, if you will.
Sure.
But, yeah, like these things have to, like, feel kind of like validation. I mean, like, even though this is just another concert at the end of the day, but the fact that you're like, you know what, I just rocked to a couple thousand people in Bonnaroo.
It's not just another concert, because there's only one Bonnaroo.
Right.
That's the thing, is like, I mean, I've known about this festival since it started, and I've always wanted to play it, but it's like, you know, I've seen, you know, some of my favorite artists on the bill here. I've never been to the festival, you know, because it's a long drive, and we got ACL Fest and like,
and South by.
Yeah, two roads down, you know. Yeah. So it honestly is really special to be here. And I mean, I don't know, it might feel validating in some way, but I feel mostly just like excited to be this prepared to show up.
I love it. Well, man, this is the first of many. We're really excited for you to start escalating until you headline Saturday night. Just like Stevie Nicks is tonight, my brother.
I'm a headline next year. You know, let's do it. Let's do it.
And you'll be back on the show, promise?
Yes, sir. Deal. Pleasure, man.
Jonathan.
My pleasure.
Appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Guys, hello. So the last time I saw you, I remember vividly, you were at the top of a mountain in North Carolina.
You bet.
You know, a nice little kind of like warm-up festival, but you guys killed it. I mean, people's jaws were on the floor, but it was like Maple Leafs preseason or something, and you guys were bringing like the food
preseason vibes for sure.
But you brought the whole, like, you could tell that you were preparing for something huge.
Yeah.
I mean, since then you've been on a plane or two.
Yeah.
How has the past month and a half been for you, Cam?
In a word, everything, nothing, draining, musically inspiring, physically exhausting, spiritually touching. In a word, though?
That's a big word. Yeah.
Comprehensive.
Oh, man. And again, your birthday was recently. Happy birthday.
It was beautiful. It was honestly great. I was saying earlier, I came on my 19th birthday to Bonnaroo, and my 20th birthday, and now this is my 30th birthday.
Yeah.
Playing it.
Yeah. I love it. And how did you feel on stage, Andy, today? The show was fantastic.
It felt great. I feel like we played so many shows in the last couple of months that we are pretty dialed in and don't really have to worry too much about the musical side of it. We can just truly like have fun up there and kind of soak up the experience.
It's great. It's great seeing you guys, and I can now tell all the photographers, I'm like, okay, wait for the following song. The band's gonna go on the floor. Make sure you get some of the crowd. It's great. It's great to see. Devon, tell me a little bit about your European adventures, because I've heard that you ripped a pair of jeans that there was like a Berlin nightclub that rejected you? Like, what are some of these Wild Rivers adventures?
We definitely got rejected from Berlin nightclub because we think we're cool, but the universe has a way of humbling us every time. We get a little confident, you know?
Yeah.
Which is great.
Yeah.
No, Europe was amazing. We went to so many cities for the first time. We got to play in London, which is my favorite city in the world. We saw Scandinavia for the first time, and the crowds were so great.
Yeah.
It was nice to kind of go and see who was going to come out, because we see the data on Spotify, but we never know how it's going to translate into the room. And the energy of it, all the shows were amazing.
Amazing. Guys, you guys are busy. Let's finish with something like today's Father's Day.
Yeah.
And it's Father's Day. It's something
Call my dad.
Yes. Like, guys, why don't we share like a memory of like, you know, how your father's like, you know, shaped you to be able to rock out to 30,000 people to that level.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Wow. For me, he's the reason I do music. He's in 2 bands, and my whole life he has just encouraged me to sing and supported our careers from start to finish, even when I live at home and mooch off them. And so I love my dad for that. It's the reason I'm here.
Awesome.
I love my dad too.
More.
I'm gonna add one level to that.
My dad's better.
I call my dad my Baba. He's Egyptian, and he's pushed me to strive for excellence my whole life.
Yeah.
And he had the most supportive parents in the world, but I was on another path in life, pursuing academia and real jobs. And Baba tried to make me a good boy, but I chose this life of sin. That's why I got this tattoo. It says Baba tried.
Is that a new one?
Well, it was last year.
Last year.
And now, look at us now, Baba. We tried and succeeded.
That's the last. Night shifts.
Yeah, we lucked out with some pretty incredibly supportive parents, all of us. Some of my earliest memories are driving around with my dad, and he would, no matter what was playing on the radio, he would always like test me, like who's this, what song is this, who's playing. And he got me my first guitar, and truly has been supportive every step of the way. Shows up randomly at every show across the world. They were in Amsterdam, and
they were at like 6 shows in Europe.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Couldn't be
I mean, it's European summer. That's just the excuse.
Yeah.
It's like, we come for you kids. Yeah, exactly.
Good.